Hey YouTube family, how are you guys doing? Hope you're all doing well. So, like the title says, are all tuners created equal? Let me show you what we got going on. Alright, so here we have 4 tuners, 2 of which are expensive, 2 of which are super cheap. So this Donner DT1 was like 25 or 30 bucks on Amazon, and I bought this like almost a year ago. It's been on one of my boards that I only use for the odd fill-in gig and when I play in church on Sunday mornings. This Polytune is super expensive here in Canada. Well, not super expensive, but after taxes, they're close to 200 bucks for these Polytune minis, especially the newer versions. But this one works great. And it's been on my main gigging board for years, so no issues whatsoever. I just recently bought the Strich. This was about 40 bucks on Temu, and reviews were great, so I was just curious. I thought maybe it would be better than this Donner. I don't know. And this Boss 212H I've had since I'm probably 17 years old. I've had this one on my pedal board for years, but mostly now I keep it here on my desk and I use it for tuning guitars that I work on and for intonating them, because the TU12H has the needle and it has 2 activity arrows that'll show you if you're tuned. So we're gonna kind of check out a few things because I've noticed some stuff here, especially with this Donner. I've noticed that I can tune it, it'll be perfectly in tune, but to my ears, it still sounds a little bit off. So today, I'm going to tune everything with the Donner, and then we're going to check it on all the other tuners to see if they're all calibrated the same. So right now, as far as I know, my guitar, and I'm just using my MUSI Vader caster. I know it's a little close-up shot there, and I'm going to put it in the middle position, full tone, full volume. I'm just running to my little 110-inch cab through my Quilter Superblock UK amp, and this is basically the sound. So that's your famous E chord. Alright, now if I strum that E chord 12 frets up, I get this. Right? Nothing sounds off there. Everything kind of sounds in sync. So I'm going to put the headstock. I'm going to just drop this tuning. Right? Going to mess it all up. And now we have... Alright, we're clearly out of tune. I'm going to give these strings a stretch. Okay, and now we're going to turn on the Donner. We're going to tune everything via the Donner. Now, in the band I play with, I use this MUSI guitar like 90% of the time. It's my best one. Like, I have guitars that I've custom modded, had built for me, and they're in the $1,500 to $1,700 range. And those were like years ago. They'd be a lot more than that now. But this, $400 MUSI is by far one of the best guitars that I have in my inventory, and I use it all the time. There's nothing about it I don't like. So, that being said, we tune half a step down to E flat. So if you're wondering why the tuner is kind of showing, a sharp or flat on it, that's why. So all right, so let's tune this guitar. We're going to go D sharp. So I'll tune all the strings. The Donner's nice. The screen turns green when it's tuned. And you have that light, right? It'll show you if it's sharp or flat or dead in the center. We're going to F sharp for this one. Or G flat, whatever you want to call it. Now, some people say you should always tune on the bridge pickup. Some people say you should always tune on the neck pickup. So you know what? I'm splitting the difference. Here we're going D sharp. So I'm splitting the difference and we're going right in the middle. All right, so all the lights were green, but before we do a final test, I'm just gonna stretch these strings again because that's what I would do at a gig. I tune, stretch the strings, tune again, just to make sure there's nothing catching up here in the nut, or make sure there's no slack around the tuning post. So, all right, gonna bring that green. Perfect. Bring that screen green. Looks good. Good. Looks good. Oh. And kind of going flat a little bit, so we'll tune it up. All right, so we are tuned. Let's see what we got. See, something sounds just a little bit off. 12 frets up. Do you hear that vibration that wasn't there before? It's like a fluctuation of the notes. Some people will say, no, that sounds fine. And yeah, it's okay. But all right, let's just see what the Strich is telling us. Because the Strich is priced not a whole lot more than this Donner was. So we'll turn that on. The Strich as well has a nice rainbow arc to it. And it turns green in the center. But unlike the Donner that has the light change in the screen and the indicator lights at the top, the Strich only has the one indicator, which is right here. So it's going to turn green. Now, see, the Strich is telling me that my E string is a little flat. See? So I'm going to tweak my E string until that light. All right. Now my A is flat as well. All right. My F is flat as well, or my F sharp, or my G, I guess, for you guys. And they're all a little bit flat. See that? It's like the Strich has a tighter variance. So as soon as I strum it, it's kind of sharp, but then it settles on the green, and then as the vibration of the string dies off, it goes. All right, so I think we're good. Okay. Okay, let's listen to that. Here's an E chord. Does that sound better to your ears? Still a little bit of warble there. But I think it's better. Alright, let's try the polytune. Okay, so the polytune, which is more than double these two tuners put together. Almost. Alright, so the polytune is showing me that the E string is flat. Look at that. So I'm going to tweak it. There we go. Look, the A is flat as well. Okay, tweak that one. There we go. F is good. The C is good. Now you guys are wondering, what strings are you hitting? Sorry, I'm just looking at the note displayed on tuner. So it's C sharp, right? Whereas really I'm hitting my D string. This is my A or my G sharp. All right. So the bass notes seem better, like seem dialed in with the Strich, but the treble notes seemed a little off. So there's the D, or I should say, okay, there's my E, D sharp, A sharp, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. All right. So here's the E chord again. Oh, look, that little warble sound is totally gone. 12 frets up. Wow. Aha. All right. All right. Final one. We got the Boss TU12H chromatic tuner. Look for the needle. Hopefully you can see it in the screen. And look for the lights. That's what I'm watching. That one's bang on, just like the Polytune. That one's bang on. That one's showing a little bit flat on the G string. There we go, I tweaked it. D's good. Like a little flat on the G string, or G sharp, or A I should say. A little flat on the A. Tweak that one. There we go. And a little flat on the D. And there we go. All right, let's try it. So as you can see, it does not mute your tone. So that was one reason I took this off my board. I wanted a mute, but this one won't. It's just on or it's off. But even if it's off, you still get sound. But you can't mute your tone. All right, we know we're tuned. We'll double check again. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, still a little flat, look. There we go. Very precise. That's why I use this one for my intonation adjustments. All right. The E chord. It's showing that the chord is actually pretty much bang on. So let's go in reverse. Double check that the TU12H is still bang on. Yep. Yep. A little bit, maybe. Depends how hard you strum, too. That's good. 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 All right, so that's all good. All right, let's check the Strich. Now that we made the adjustments on this one, will the Strich pick that up or will it be off here? It kind of glitched sharp for a sec, but now it seems to be regulated. A's bang on. F's bang on. C sharp's bang on. G sharp is bang on. Oh, the D's showing a little bit sharp. No, I guess it's regulated. It's good. If I strum it really hard, it goes sharp, but that's just spring vibration. A little sharp. I'm going to give it a pull here. Okay, so now it's all good. Let's check that again. Alright, let's see what the polytune is telling us. It's showing that the D sharp's still good. See, the A sharp is flat, look at that. But here, oh, can't have both. See, A sharp is perfect on the Strich. On the polytune, it's flat. Look at that. I'm going to tweak it with the polytune. F is good. C sharp is good. G sharp is now sharp a little bit. There we go. And D sharp is good. Okay, let's have a listen. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. All right. Now let's go back to the Donner. Oh, got a message from you guys. Donner's showing good. It's showing braid on. Look, showing bang on. Showing perfect. It's showing perfect. And that one's kind of fluctuating, but it's settling on perfect. All right, well, there you have it. So I guess, when it comes to tuners, you do get what you pay for. Now, before we go any further with the conclusion, just so you know, the power source was all the same in the sense that I was using an iSpot adapter, all right, that's plugged in the wall, connected to an iSpot daisy chain, and then each of these daisies were connected to the pedals. So the pedals were all getting the power source from the same adapter. All pedals require less than 100 milliamps, and this iSpot adapter is good for 1700 milliamps. So there's all kinds of milliamps in this to power those 4 little pedals. What I have found with my gear is that this Donner is fine, works great, the indications are great. However, the calibration of it allows for a larger margin of error. So you could be, imagine this was the needle, it tells you you're tuned. You could be here or you could be here and it still tells you you're tuned, right? Anywhere from here to here, it'll tell you. So the problem with that is if one string is here and the other string is here and one string is here and they're all showing a green screen, like according to this Donner, you're tuned, but according to your ear, you're a little bit off. Those of you who have a sharp ear are going to hear that. You're going to pick that up. Individual note soloing, you'd never notice. Chording, and maybe with other people, like if there's an acoustic guitar in the band and they're tuned with a different tuner that has tighter tolerance, you might find that, hey, that acoustic player is out of tune, and no, it's you. So just so you know, you buy this Donner pedal. Now, it could be just mine. I don't know, but I'm just thinking, the cheaper pedal, right? Now, this one is a little bit more precise than the Donner, surprisingly enough, especially on the treble strings. It seemed to have picked up, a little better. This Boss 212H is pretty darn precise. However, for me, the winner is definitely this polytune. This polytune seems to be bang on, like extremely precise. I like the polytunes on my board. So the boards that I use regularly each have a polytune mini on it. There's nothing wrong with the regular polytune. I just like the space of the mini. But for my other board, I'm definitely going to substitute this Donner for this Strich pedal. It's just a little bit better. And for my intonation stuff, I'm still going to use this. It depends how fussy you are. So if you're at home and you're just jamming around, this thing will do the job. But I have tuned my guitar up using this and then tweaked some of the strings by ear because I felt it was just a little bit off. And now I know why. So it just seems to have a little bit more of a lower tolerance as far as the margin of where the needle needs to be to tell you that your guitar is tuned. But as far as functionality and reliability, it's always worked. And I've had this for over a year now. So it's been stepped on a lot. And no issue. No power issues, no switch issues, nothing. So not knocking the Donner stuff, just saying it just doesn't seem to be quite as precise. So you guys let me know what you think, what tuners you use. I know there's a bunch of brands out there. Some tuners are just a little more precise than others, have tighter tolerances than others, and will probably tune your guitar better. So anyway, you guys take care. God bless. And I'll talk to you later.